Hey everybody, it's Tom Woods, September 11th, 2012. Some of you are no doubt familiar with the dispute that I've been having with Max Keiser, who hosts Keiser Report on RT. And I don't want to dwell on the details too much because at the end I'm just going to link you to a page containing our back and forth and you can just read it for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. But just to recap it very briefly, last month Keiser had a segment featuring a guest, Sandeep Jaitley, and Jaitley had tweeted that in his view, the economist Ludwig von Mises had so deviated from the economist Karl Menger, the founder of the Austrian School of Economics, that Mises didn't qualify as an Austrian school economist. Now this sounds, I'm sure, like inside baseball, super technical sort of dispute, and who would be interested in it? Well, I am interested in this sort of thing, and so I disputed Jaitley's characterization in a gentlemanly way. I didn't make fun of him. I didn't call him any names. I thought he was grossly mistaken. I thought the textual evidence ran entirely against him, but it was the normal sort of back and forth that scholars have. But Keiser himself went into an absolute tirade over this and began adopting this thesis that anybody who supported Mises is a terrible, fake Austrian deviationist from the pure Karl Menger. Now, again, I don't think there's support for this. On all the major innovations Menger made, Mises followed him. I mean, I think you would have to be rather a subtle thinker to find huge deviations, so-called, between Mises and Menger, of all people. But it got to the point of absurdity when I made the argument that, in my view, private individuals take better long-term care of property than government caretakers do, and Max objected to this and said this is further evidence that Woods is a Misesian deviationist from Menger. Now you can call me a lot of things, but like, what does that even mean? Like, did Menger even talk about these issues? So I said, Max, if you're going to keep doing this and just throwing this accusation around, you're going to have to prove it. Like, you can't just do that. You got to just prove it. So give me chapter and verse from Menger to show where I'm not an Austrian because I've deviated from him. Where did Menger take an opposite view on those issues? Go ahead and show it to me. I'm waiting. Well, of course, what did he do? Of course, I'll tell you, I've read Menger, and I can tell you Menger didn't cover these issues, or he agreed with me. When you look at them all, it's either he didn't cover it, or he agreed with me. So that means Max hasn't got a leg to stand on. So what did he do? He started calling me names. Calling me names on his site, calling me names in his Twitter feed. His wife started calling me names on her Twitter feed. And then Max started addressing every issue under the sun except my challenge to him, my challenge to give me chapter and verse. He wouldn't do it. So I start hearing how he doesn't like the Mises Institute, he doesn't like Lou Rockwell, he doesn't like this person, that person. Now, Max, I'm super fascinated by the list of people you don't like. I mean, this is very, very interesting to me. But believe it or not, even more interesting than that would be if you could just stick to the question I asked you. Can you, in fact, back up your original accusation? That'd be a lot more interesting than your enemies list. Now, people have been saying, well, why don't you go on his show and you can rebut him? But Max and I are having a dispute, and since when is the proper way for a dispute to be settled between two people to go into a forum where one person asks all the questions of the other person? No, as a matter of fact, I have some questions of my own for Max. I think Max doesn't know what he's talking about. I think he's criticizing Austrian economists, the Austrian school, without having any grounding in it whatsoever. And I think I can prove that with a few simple questions. I mean, I'm not going to be asking what's the difference between class and case probability, or how did Hayek differ from Mises on the concept of forced saving or something like that, but I think I can ask some fairly basic elementary questions about the Austrian school. I don't think he can answer them. And I think that will settle the discussion. So what I'd like to do is, I've said I'd be glad to talk to Max in a neutral third-party setting in which neither one of us is in charge, and in which both of us can ask the question. So I've already lined it up. James Corbett of the Corbett Report has already stepped forward and said we could both come on his program, we'd get equal time to talk, and Keiser has refused, and his wife has said they refuse, and they said the reason is, we started this, so why should we give up our ratings to, quote, some schmo? So once again, as always, the Keiser's taken the high road. Classy. Classy. A fellow broadcaster is some schmo. Well, James Corbett, sorry about that, but you weren't going to get away with, not being called a name if I'm being called all these names. That's the way they operate, apparently. So it is ultimately, fundamentally about ratings. But if they do care about knowledge, I'm ready to go anytime you want to in this neutral third-party setting. And incidentally, Sandeep Jaitley himself, the guest on the original segment, seems like a nice enough fellow. So when finally, again, I'm sorry for the delays, but when my podcast is up and running, I'd be glad to have Sandeep Jaitley on and talk to him there. I'm not going to talk to him on the Keiser Report. Why should I reward somebody for absolutely savage, uncivilized, ungentlemanly behavior. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give him the ratings. We'll still have the free and open discussion, just not on Keiser Report. Now, Max has inspired me, though, because he has shown, his conduct, this whole affair has shown, has reminded us that knowledge beats name-calling. Knowledge beats name-calling. And so I am doing, for the rest of September, in honor of Max Keiser, my Knowledge Beats Name-Calling book giveaway. That's right, you can get a free book by me, signed and personalized, shipped to you in the mail, if you join my LibertyClassroom.com this month. LibertyClassroom.com is where I equip you to go up against the Keisers of the world and the shysters of the world. At LibertyClassroom.com, we teach real history, real economics with faculty members you can trust, discussion forums where you can ask us all the questions you want, recommended readings, you can listen in your car, you can watch it on your screen, and do whatever you want. You can do it on the go. It's a great way to learn a lot of real stuff, not the propaganda, quickly and efficiently. And if you join LibertyClassroom.com this month, September 2012, I'll send you a free book. So head over to LibertyClassroom.com/Max. What else? LibertyClassroom.com/Max will have the links to my exchange with Max, so you can see for yourself how it actually turned out. And also on that page, you'll find out how to get a free book. Go ahead and join Liberty Classroom, and there'll be a link for how to send me your mailing address so I can get you that book in the mail, list what books are available. It's going to be great. The Knowledge Beats Name-Calling book giveaway, inspired by Max Keiser. So make sure and send him a note thanking him for your free book. All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.